Hey, excited to be back. The old Getbox radio show and podcast, again, brought to you by Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic. I will be down in 2 weeks playing Teeth of the Dog. Cannot wait and looking forward to it immensely. And go to casadecampo.com. The pictures of the teeth and all that's going on, it's incredible. It looks like a lot of fun. Can't wait to get down there. Which brings us to a man who's always a lot of fun, Gilles Gagnon, who's been down at Casa de Campo for like 45 years. He's the man. He rolls out the red carpet. Gilles, good to see you, my man. I like your shirt, by the way. You're looking good today.
That's why I put that shirt on, because I know everybody's freezing all over the United States right now. So I want to make it feel a little more, a little sunshine, a little bright. My wife always buys me these bright shirts. Once in a while, I put them on to make her feel better about when she shops.
Hey, you mentioned the weather, and every picture I see from down there, and a lot of video too, the weather looks outstanding. I'm checking the temps right now. It's like 85, 86, 87. Now's the time to be in the DR, right?
Well, it's perfect. And the thing is it gets cooler at night also, which, the difference in weather here in the Dominican Republic is basically the temperature, in terms of day temperature, is pretty much the same all year round, 85 to 90, stuff like that. A few hotter days sometimes. But when it starts in November, then you get at night and the temperature drop. For example, if you go to Altos de Chavon, which is the artist village there that's a little up on the hill, you're going to have to wear a little sweater. It's probably 75 and you think it's freezing, because when it's 85 during the day. But yeah, the temperature cools down now in the evening and it's super comfortable. It's just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing, and so I can't wait to get down. I keep reiterating that, but it's true. December 7th, by the way, as we embark on December, get a little closer to Christmas, the people at Casa de Campo can play Teeth of the Dog. You're cutting the ribbon, Gilles. Tell me about it, because I know you kind of snuck out there. You guys are going to be packed, aren't you?
Yes. We actually have two big events. We have Lynx Magazine that does an event, and we also have a tournament that was started many, many years ago. We call it the twosome, but it's two-man best ball, and it's a fun event, and we have over 100 players in each one of those. And we also have a lot of people that book. Some of the owners are ready to go. But I tell you what, it's just, you go out there, you cannot believe it. I was out there playing the other day. I said, when we played with Miguel Angel Jimenez and his wife and Robert, and I said, are the fairways wider for some reason? They look wider because the grass is just absolutely perfect. And part of the improvement is that we improve the sides, you know what I mean? Where the bunkers are looking better. We have some little, call it love grass, little puffy things on top of Sunday Mound, and everything's been cleaned up, and it just looks so pristine. And it's really nice to see, because it over the years with all the play, gotten a little rough. So it was a very, very good investment, I think, for us to do that. And now, I think we're going to go up in the ranking just to see the difference. So we're excited about it for sure.
Yeah, I read that the other day. Teeth of the Dog now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, like 83rd in Golf Digest top 100 courses around the world. That's pretty good, Gilles. I mean, that is very, very good. I know Pete Dye would be very happy about that.
Well, the thing is with these ranking now, they're building so many great golf courses, and everybody's trying to outdo each other. So I think part of the reason, I think at one point we were 32 or something, and, every year dropped a little bit, then we went back, and it depends, Golf Week, Golf Magazine, they all got different ratings type of thing. But I think that's going to be we're going to go up right now, just, after the people. We actually have a group of raters that are coming in January sometime. We organized them to come over, and they're paying, by the way, so it's not, we're not.
Right.
But so anyway, so we'll see what they think. But like I said, when I go out there, and it's, for me, it's just like, it always been a 10 for me, obviously, but now it's a 12. I mean, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And when you look at those 7 holes, now I was out there back in July, and the redo was in full form. I mean, you had workers out there, the sod, you're residing everything. I can't wait to get down. But tell me, those 7 holes that open out to the ocean, you've been all over the world playing golf. How beautiful, how breathtaking are those views?
Well, the amazing thing about the Teeth of the Dog, first of all, or Pete Dye, for example, just to discuss Pete Dye, my friend, he built the best par threes. I mean, if at Casa de Campo we have 90 holes of golf, and obviously we have 2 par threes on every 9, and I don't think you can find a place in the world where you're going to find better par threes. Now, his par fives, I always thought it was a little, they were never the strength of his design, but the par threes are amazing. So when you come up and you get to 5, and now you're looking down, the ocean's on the left, and you go 5, 6, 7, and 8, and it's absolutely, you see the wave crashing on the side. And on number 5, we've raised the bunker on the left a little bit because it would get washed out all the time, and added some rock to kind of break out the waves. 6 is always a beautiful long par 4. Then again, you go to par 3 again, that from the back is like 245 yards. Many years ago, Keith Mitchell was here. That's when he used to be on the PGA Latin America, and I go back there with him, and he looks at, he's taking a 6-iron and flying that thing right in the middle of the green, like it was nothing. But and then 8, we have the tee that's really sitting, on the ocean. Basically, it's out, and we've taken the rocks that were, when you walk up, you will see the rocks to try to hold that tee there. Now we've kind of taken those out. Jerry took them out and spread them out, that break the waves. But now it looks like an infinity, And then you go back 15, a short par 4, that when we did the Shell Wonderful World of Golf, Ray Floyd made 7 there. That's 385 yards. He hit a couple of them, and and then 17, long par 4, dogleg, just dogleg right. And 16, again, the par 3, you could put that tee, that the pin on the right looks like it's sitting on the ocean. As a matter of fact, let's not tell Miguel, but he hit it 2 in the water there when we played 2 weeks ago. He wasn't happy. He went right at it. I mean, it's like hitting like a little to a beach towel, right? And he
Right.
just hit him just a little short, hit the wall and dropped in. But before that, he had made 6 birdies, so it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. In fact, on my shelf above me, you might see a hat that says dog. That is my hat. I got a Teeth of the Dog, and I'll probably be wearing that when I get back down there in a couple of weeks. All right, I have to ask you this, because for our listeners who've kind of grown accustomed to you being on the show on a regular basis, you're a serious golfer. You play every day that ends in Y, which is a good thing. You played Die 4 last week. You broke your age by 3 shots and also recorded an ace, Gilles. That is a round to remember. I mean, my goodness, that was great.
Yeah, it was actually just I actually shot 71, which is 6 shots better than my.
Wow.
But it was like I couldn't miss. I couldn't miss. Started bogey, par bogey, and all of a sudden make a hole in one. It was 165 or something. The wind was blowing like crazy. I couldn't miss anything. Since then, I don't think I've broken 78. So it's just something happened. But I mean, it was just a heck of a day. And it was, it's always fun to, probably the most memorable hole in one that I have not made was with my grandson at Sandhills last summer. And we were at about 225. He hit a downhill. It's the 3rd hole at Sandhills Golf Club. He hit a 6-iron, and he started running. I said, I think it's in the hole, Papa. It's in that. So I said, well, let me hit. So I hit 3 wood. And I tell you, this is no lie. His is in the hole, and mine is literally like 4 or 5 inches short, right in the middle of the hole. So that was the most, it's too bad we didn't do it. That would have been amazing if both of us have made it. But at the same time, I didn't want to take anything away from, a 14-year-old making his first hole in one. So,
wow. Good stuff. Now, when you get in hole in one, you have to buy drinks for everybody in the clubhouse or wherever. Does that carry over? Like when I get down in 2 weeks, does that still carry over, or is that expired?
Well, for you, there's no limit. But
Love
for
it.
everybody else, there was a stop. Funny, because we're at Die 4 that day, and most people were playing at Ladomana Country Club because it was too windy up there. So my friend posted it. As soon as I made, he posted it. He said, "Okay, the bar is open. Whatever, it's at Die 4." And they said, "No, Ladomana Country Club." I go, "Wait, time out." There were about 60 people there. So I said, let's calm down. But I did buy a few drinks. I did buy some.
Good for you. Congratulations. That is really, really awesome. And I can't tell you how many people I've told, and I'll have to correct them now. I thought you were 3 below your age. I didn't realize you were 6 below. That makes the story even better. So, hey, tell our listeners and our viewers this, because I found it interesting. Over Thanksgiving weekend in West Palm Beach at one of President Trump's courses there, he played with Brooks Koepka, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, Brett Baer, who is the Fox News anchorman, anchors their news, nightly news, which was a great foursome, great picture. There was video of President Trump chipping in for a birdie from off the green, which was really neat. He's now back in the nation's capital. But a few weeks ago, Gilles, you were down there. You played behind the president. I mean, how special was that? That had to be just a really, really surreal moment for you.
Well, it was kind of fun because he was sitting in a clubhouse. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and we were having, a little brunch. And my friend Scott and his dad, Gregory, who's a really, really good player. So we were going to go. So they said, well, you could go after the president, but let him, and he was in the clubhouse. All of a sudden he got up and walked out. And, he's very approachable there, obviously. Everybody's around. It's not like a big deal. They got, to get in there, you got security everywhere.
Right.
But then he teed up, played one. And by the time we got to 9, we were on the tee on 10. He was already on 14. And the next thing you know, we saw Air Force One take off, and then
Wow.
Went over. I don't know if you remember at the Commanders game.
Yes.
He flew Air Force One, right? And he was. The guy's got. He's a big man. The guy. They say the guy never sleeps, right? He's always going. Lucky enough, I've had the opportunity to play with both President Bush. And I played with Clinton. I also played with the Prime Minister of Canada here many years ago. And probably the most amazing thing is when George Bush, I had a friend of mine that was in the Navy, and he was a pilot. And I asked him if he could meet him. And the president said, Jill, don't ever ask me that again. Anytime, bring him over. They brought him over, and they stood, both of them at attention, and saluted, And to this day, I still have chill about that. And so then I said, well, Mr. President, time to go. He goes, time out. I'll go when I go, right? Wow. So he signed, his hat, and they took a picture, and I'll never forget that this guy walked away with tears in his eyes. So, it's obviously that you are a Democrat or Republican. When you meet the president, obviously, it's still an exciting moment, and, you cherish that, obviously, for forever.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. And when I get down to the DR, we need to discuss writing a book, my man, because you have some incredible stories and you've rubbed elbows with some amazing people. I remember way back when we talked about Sean Connery too, 007. Good stuff. All right, I want to ask you this because we're in the month of December. The great Tiger Woods turns 50, Gilles, this month. Obviously, PGA Tour champions would love for Tiger to come out and play, even if it was 2 or 3 events. Not playing any right now, still rehabilitating from that surgery on his spine about 6 weeks ago. But what do you think about the future? You think Tiger could potentially play in the over 50 category? Because you talk about Miguel Angel Jimenez, who, by the way, had a spectacular year. But what do you think? Tiger playing over 50, is that possible?
I think he's going to want to play the majors. He's won what? Juniors, he's won everything except
everything in the USGA, right?
So if he wins that, now to be probably what I would assume, or that would be the first time everybody won all 4, right? Juniors, US Open.
I'd have to check Jack Nicklaus. Jack potentially
had won it also, yeah. But anyway, so it's a very limited. But I would think he would want to do that. And I don't know. You're closer to the PGA Tour and stuff. Somebody said that the major now agreed for the senior to let them ride golf cart, or maybe the people that's necessary.
Yeah. I think that's the Tiger rule, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that just came from the Tiger rule right there, I would think. And for the senior tour, that would be like a big boost, obviously. The guy draws. Jeff Lofstead, who's a great friend of mine, who's the executive director of the South Florida PGA, was here last week with his family, and we were talking. He's the one that brought that rules, but they run junior program there. He's got like 1,200 kids in the junior program, and obviously Tiger's son plays in it.
Yes.
And he said he's getting a little short fuse. He's a young guy, he's a little short fuse. And he said his mother, Ellen, just says, I guess Elin, how you pronounce it. She's absolutely beautiful and walks around, and she'll tell him to calm down. In the meantime, Tiger just doesn't say anything. You just kind of watch him play. So it was interesting. But yeah, Tiger, anywhere he goes, obviously, he's going to draw.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. He's got to get healthy first, and then we'll see what happens. All right, 2026, the schedule is out, Gilles, for the PGA Tour. But in 2027, Brian Rolapp, the new commissioner of the PGA Tour, is proposing changes. The players have begun talking about it. This is unofficial, but they're likely to start the PGA Tour season in 2027 after the Super Bowl. He's an NFL guy, doesn't want to compete with the National Football League, and he's going to reduce the schedule from perhaps 37 events to maybe 20 events and reduce the fields. His hope is that the best players in the world, whether it was Scottie Scheffler or Rory or whoever, would play virtually every tournament as opposed to picking and choosing. It's going to squeeze out the journeyman golfer, I do believe. But when you hear those changes, and listen, everything's changing in sports, not just golf, but all professional sports. What do you make of the proposed changes in 2027?
Why fix something that's really been working great? I mean, tweaking is one thing, but why change all this? Okay, so there's less event maybe, and they can make more money, but then, television, golf channels. Golfers want to watch golf. I watch the Australian Open. So I don't know. I think they're trying to always go towards the guy that are already making all the money. So, it's nice to see kids go out there, scramble, like Rafa, right? Campo, now he's not done very well. But those are guys that totally change their lives. If they start making these events, 20 events, and now they're going to have the Corn Ferry Tour is going to be, bigger. I think that's an expensive tour to run for the revenue probably. But, I don't know. To me, it's just, the tour is working well. A friend of mine was Saudi Arabia last 2 weeks ago, and he had an event there. I don't think it was live, but it was something similar. And he said that there were about 20 people out there watching, and they were all pretty
right.
good. Smith, there was a lot of good players there, but nobody was watching. So, the tour is doing fantastic. The crowds are amazing. The television coverage. We're, the amateur players is, the amount of rounds that we do now compared to what we used to do before COVID. I think messing around with this. If he's a football guy, just stay with football. I hate to say it, but let's get guys that knows golf to do golf. You know what I mean? I know these guys are great marketer because they know all the TV people and stuff like that, but I think he's going to might not get resistance from the top guy, but I guarantee from the maybe the 60 or 70 down, I think that's probably going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. And I know a lot of guys who fall in that 100 to 125 area. Some are outside top 125, and they're really, really good players, but it's going to be very difficult in 2027 when and if all these changes take place. All right, before I let you go, as we embark on Christmas, tell me about the holidays at Casa de Campo, because I tell you, the pictures and the videos of all that you guys have going on with the singers and the bands and the chefs cooking stuff up, and you have fashion shows, and it looks like you guys get very festive come holiday time down at Casa de Campo.
Well, if you go to Altos de Chavon, you're going to be here during that time. You'll see the church up there, the area, they're all lit up. It's gorgeous. The lighting there is amazing. But, it's busy. We are totally sold out. And, we have 2,500 homes here. So owners that come in maybe twice a year, whatever, they're here. It gets a little busy, but the activities are amazing. The restaurants are all full. The music's going, and the weather's great. So which is the beach, everybody's out there in pools and swimming, and it's amazing time for us. The resident or somebody like here, it's a little annoying. There's just too many people, and too many parties to go to. Everybody, the owners, oh, Jill, come to this bar. You go here, you go there, and I think a couple years ago, Marilee and I were out 27 nights in a row.
Wow.
So that's probably why you just got to start backing off having maybe 1-2 drinks versus extra. But it's great, and it's football season. Obviously, I love that already. And LSU has a new coach now, and you talked about him. I always watch your other podcasts with football guys, and it's hard for me to believe that. But for what, $85 million? I guess you got to make a move.
He is going to make a lot of money. Yeah, he won't have any financial worries. Let's just put it that way.
Is he going to coach? Are they going to let him coach the playoff?
No. The Ole Miss athletic director and president decided that they did not want an LSU guy coaching Ole Miss in the playoffs, and so they bid adieu to Lane Kiffin. He flew to LSU yesterday, and he'll be introduced today there. And in the meantime, Ole Miss, they elevated the defensive coordinator, Pete Golden, so he will coach them in the playoffs. We'll see what happens. They're really, really good, Gilles.
Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I do. I think it would have been very difficult to allow the guy who'd accepted the LSU job to coach Ole Miss now. I mean, they could play one game and lose. They could play 2, 3. They could go all the way to the championship. They're that good. But I just think that would have been a difficult. And LSU and Ole Miss are arch rivals going back to the 50s and 60s. So, I mean, I'm sure it was a difficult decision, but I think I totally agree with what the Ole Miss hierarchy did. I don't think you can have that.
I think if I was a player, and I love my coach, it would be kind of sad. I mean, especially
That'd
with
be
all
hard.
the transfer, everybody's transferring everywhere now.
Yes.
Nobody is loyal to anywhere. So, you put the money, they go. So, I mean, even the kids in there might be going, they're going to transfer, I'm sure. But I just thought it's kind of sad. But anyway, he's got plenty of money, and the playoffs are going to be. It's Tuesday night, right? Well, they're still not over the ranking, but that's going to be a big decision. Miami won, Alabama won, then Vanderbilt. I mean, it's going to be tough to kick some of these, try to figure out who's going to stay.
That's the key, Gilles. There's going to be 4 or 5 schools that are going to be very, very disappointed. And the ultimate rankings come out Sunday after the championship games, so we shall see. And for those of us in the state of Alabama, if Alabama should lose to Georgia and have 3 losses, even though they made the championship game, some people are saying they could potentially get left out. So there's a lot of drama in college football. Gives us a lot to talk about.
It's almost better not to make the championship game, to be honest with you, right? Then it would only be at 2, because
absolutely
now you have 2 teams that are powerhouse, and then one of them's not going to look good, right? I mean, obviously.
Absolutely.
So it's an interesting, but it's still fun, and it's part of the holidays. You start watching these games, and obviously I love golf, and but I love all kinds of sport, and I love to watch football, and I think the tournaments in January, for golf, it's still great to see when they go to Hawaii and play this. So let's hope that the decisions are made, the right decisions are made, and our game continue to grow and more people enjoy. I know the best game in the world by far. I mean, I'm 77 and I can play golf every day. I play with a friend of mine that's 93 once in a while. He plays 3 times a week. So you can't play hockey, can't play football or basketball at that age, but you sure can play golf. More people enjoy it, and can't wait to have you. I will definitely buy you just one drink for my whole life.
Okay. I'll be down in 2 weeks, and I guess I'll start calling you Mr. 71 now, right?
Yeah, Mr. 71. No, that's okay. That's fine. I just, there's things I want to correct, but if I did something that good, I want to make sure that and I put everything out also. I don't believe in gimmies, so we put everything out.
Good for you. I mean, that makes it even more impressive. I can't tell you how many people I've told that story to. And I got to go back and tell them now. It wasn't 300, it was 600. So I got to correct that.
Yeah. No, I'm not. My ego is not that big, but it was definitely a special day. So hopefully we'll have maybe another one when you get here.
Hope so.
Still 5 is not, it's just a little wedge for you, and that's it. We'll make sure maybe make the cup a little bigger. I'm working on it. If the weather cooperates around here, I should come down in good form. We'll see what happens. Gilles, we appreciate it, my man. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you always for your to having me on your show, and I can't wait to have you here. Also, the girls. I want the girls will have fun also.
Well, they're ready.
My wife can't wait to sit here and we all have dinner together and tell a funny story anyway about each other probably.
I'll be a fly on the wall. I won't get a word in, but that's fine. I like to listen. So.
Yes. All right. Take care.
Thanks, Gilles.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.